There's a strange warning from Jesus that many Christians have heard, but few stop to think about. Jesus said there are two gates, two roads, two destinations. One road is wide, easy to enter, and crowded with people. The other is narrow, difficult, and few find it. And then Jesus said something even more serious. Enter through the narrow gate. But why? If Jesus came to offer salvation, why would he describe the way to life as narrow and difficult? What was he really warning us about? In Matthew chapter 7, Jesus was teaching his disciples and the crowds around him, and near the end of his teaching he gave them a choice. He said, "Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it." Then he continued, "But small is the gate and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it." Notice something important. Jesus didn't say there were hundreds of roads leading to different versions of truth. He presented two. One was wide, the other was narrow, and both roads were going somewhere. The wide road is attractive because it doesn't demand much from us, and it is easy to follow the crowd, easy to choose what everyone else chooses, easy to live according to the values around us without ever stopping to ask whether those values agree with God. The wide road doesn't necessarily look evil. That's what makes Jesus' warning so powerful. Sometimes the wrong road looks comfortable. It can look successful. It can look popular. It can even look completely normal. There are many people walking it, and because so many people are walking in the same direction, it can feel impossible that the destination could be wrong, but Jesus says the road is not judged by how many people are walking on it. It is judged by where it leads. So, what makes the other gate narrow? Jesus' teaching throughout the Gospels gives us the answer. Following him requires a decision. It requires surrender. It requires turning away from the things that pull us away from God. Jesus didn't call people simply to admire him. He called them to follow him. And following sometimes means choosing God's way when another way would be easier. It means forgiving when bitterness feels justified. Choosing truth when lying would be more convenient. Choosing purity when temptation is everywhere. Choosing humility when pride wants recognition. Choosing obedience when nobody is watching. The narrow road isn't narrow because God's mercy is small. It is narrow because following Christ requires a deliberate choice. And here's something important. Jesus wasn't telling his followers to earn salvation by becoming perfect. The Bible repeatedly points us toward God's grace, but grace doesn't mean discipleship costs nothing. Jesus himself said, "Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me." The narrow road is therefore not about becoming better than everyone else. It's about surrendering our lives to God. It's about allowing him to change the direction we're walking, because you can say you believe in Jesus and still choose a completely different road with your life. That's why Jesus' warning was so serious. Imagine standing at a crossroads. One road is packed with people. There are voices everywhere. Everyone seems confident. The road looks easy. The other road is smaller, quieter, more difficult. And there are fewer people walking it. Which one would you choose? Most people would probably choose the road that makes them feel safe. But Jesus tells us not to measure truth by popularity. The crowd can be wrong. Culture can be wrong. Our desires can be wrong. Even the path that feels easiest can lead us somewhere we never intended to go. Jesus' question is not, how many people are walking with you? The question is, where is the road taking you? And that brings this ancient teaching directly into our lives. Which road are you walking? Not simply, what church do you attend? Not simply, do you believe in God? But look at the direction of your life. What are you choosing? What are you pursuing? What are you willing to surrender? Who are you becoming? Because the narrow gate isn't simply a message about the future. It is a decision we make every day. Every choice moves us somewhere. Every compromise moves us somewhere. Every act of obedience moves us somewhere. Every decision to follow Christ moves us somewhere. Jesus said, "Small is the gate, and narrow the road that leads to life." The road may not always be easy. It may not always be popular. And sometimes you may feel like you're walking it alone. But don't choose a road simply because everyone else is on it. Choose the road that leads to life. Choose Christ. Because in the end, the most important question isn't, how many people were walking with me? It is, did I follow the one who leads to life? And perhaps that is exactly why Jesus warned us about the narrow gate, not to frighten us away, but to make sure we don't accidentally choose the wrong road.